All right, welcome everyone to the Modern Human Awoke AF with Wendy.
And Brenda, hello.
We're so excited today because we started doing these podcasts where we kind of interview a member of our community, our friends, and stuff. So we just get to share with you kind of what we do. And today we have Dee with us. Hi, Dee.
Hi.
Hi.
And so Dee, we asked you, for volunteers, right? And kind of like why you wanted to be on. So, well, tell everyone why you wanted to be on.
Well, basically for me, what intrigued me about being on this podcast was I always feel like there is some kind of message that I am just not receiving. I don't mean not receiving it just with some kind of blockage, or I don't know how to receive it, or something like that. But I always feel this constant message that's around me.
Yeah, so I hear you saying like, so you definitely are connected. You feel spirit, and they're trying to say something to you. You just don't necessarily know what they're trying to say.
Exactly. The weird way of putting it, I suppose, is like I never feel alone. I feel like there's something there with me.
Awesome.
Yeah, Dee, I want to make sure that I understand this fully. So I do hear you. Do you feel that like pressure, like within your being? Do you feel like maybe like this knock at the door, like hello, hello? Is it something like that?
Yes, that's a good way of explaining it.
Okay. Was there something else about you being willing to show up for here? I felt a little bit more, Wendy and I can just dive right in on this one at first.
No, it was more, like that, and just kind of just wondering if there's something that's trying to connect with me in a sense, I suppose.
All right,
and I should pay maybe more attention to.
Awesome, love that.
And it definitely feels like a huge, like I want to like lay down the hammer, like yes, 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 and I'm guided to go right into it's you. It's wanting you to become even more open than you already are and embrace more of who you already are. So I feel this like pressure to let yourself go, to be free, because to be honest, I feel your life purpose calling you. Like, hey, you have this really important life purpose. It's time to step into it. And you are like, yes, please, God, finally, I've been waiting, right? And yet there's this push pull within you to say, yeah, but we have to do it kind of like this, or there's a little bit. Is that resonating with you at all? That kind of wanting to conform, but then wanting to expand at the same time.
Most definitely, because that's where my habitation and my reservation kind of like basically there's so many things calling me back to my old, if I say old self, I mean my happier old self, the things I did that were I don't know, just part of my everyday life, for example. Mm-hmm. And then I got into the regular grind of life and moved away from those things that were such a big part of me. And over the last couple of years, I've been fortunate enough to get back into my passions and things. But there's always that hesitation of saying, you still have to be grounded, or, I guess I'm not, like you said, not letting myself go and embrace this, way that I used to be, that I was so much happier though.
Yeah. And what it feels like is that it's actually, it's going to get it as uncomfortable as you need it to help you expand. You have such a free spirit. Your heart is totally open. I can totally feel your heart from here. It's so beautiful. And it's that. It's like you love being in this space. You're so free here. How about living here all the time? It's in here that these messages, oh yes, what did you just get? I could feel that.
Wow, that's funny. I was just thinking because I did yoga this morning, and I used to practice constantly, and I don't anymore. And just doing that, I felt like myself again.
Yes.
And it's just, I just went back to that feeling how I felt.
Yes, and I'm getting huge chills. It's like, yes, 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 because within this is this life purpose. In So I'm going to say this in a weird way, and I just invite you to try it on because my words could be off. So feel out what I'm saying. You're calling you. You're calling you home. You want to come back to yourself. You're saying we have something really important to do. It's literally you and your life purpose calling you. Knock, 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 knock. Hello, hello, hello. Are you ready now? And
Right.
it's going to take this spiritual leap of faith that I'm telling you is going to be so worth it and so much easier than some of your kind of belief systems or patterns think that it's going to be. So in that way, you have this opportunity to let go of belief systems and patterns that no longer align with you. And I'm telling you, you have such a mastery within you. This is meant, it is now. Like I said a moment ago, I want to say it again. It's going to get a little bit more uncomfortable if you keep not listening. And I feel like you're already aware of some of those pressures. But I can feel Wendy's starting to push her energy on me too a little bit. So she's going to jump in too.
Yeah. Am I? Yes, I am. um, yeah, it's partly the timing is now, and it was always meant to be now for you. So know that it was never meant to be earlier. So stop some of the judgments within yourself around that. Um, Meaning, yeah, it's meant to, like, I can see your life kind of splitting off, kind of moving in a different direction here. And it really is going to be a very profound experience. It is, it's like a spiritual awakening. I mean, your gifts are going to expand tremendously. And that takes, trusting it. So meaning, like yoga today, like feeling that and saying, universe, I want this and more. And and you keep choosing yourself over and over again. And like, even with your gifts, if you listen to them or hear them and you follow up with that and trust that, they're going to get stronger and stronger and stronger. So that's partly what they want to say right away.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it is what Brenda's.
When you just said to me really made so much sense because of the fact that had this come to me 2 to 3 years ago, I would never have been ready. I wasn't in a place, but I feel now I'm in that place, but I don't know how, to allow myself to accept it. I'm beating myself up over it.
Right, yeah, and so stop that. Easier said than done, I know, right? And I love this. I love that you're here today because I feel like a lot of people are in this same position where they're like, I can feel it. I just don't know what to do. What am I supposed to do? And the thing is, it doesn't function the way that we think. It's not going to function in an old way, meaning it's not going to be a 10-year plan. It's not a 5-year plan. It's not even a 1-month plan. How this new energy is and how the new earth is, if you hear that language, is really, you're going to be shown the first step. And when you're ready to be shown the second step, you're going to be shown the second step. It's almost like really trusting and surrendering in this within yourself, meaning whatever's going on with you internally, really going within and really trusting that. Meaning, if you feel like action today, then you do action. If you feel like going within and just crying all day, that's what you need on your path to ascension. It's like, that's it. And we have to begin there because everything else launches from that space. It is the divine feminine. It is a mastery of self, and it's trusting it completely. And the brain is going to have a huge problem with this, okay? Because it wants control and it wants things how it used to have things done. Like, meaning you have to have a 401k or you have to have, whatever the rules are. And our brains are accustomed to that, but it really, it's almost like the illusion of confidence. It's a lie. All of that stuff is a lie. We have many different examples of where that doesn't work for people, where people dedicate their lives to companies and then they lose everything in the end anyways, or whatever. My point is if you're being asked to build an ark, do you, and you're being asked to build an ark here, like Noah in a way, right? Where it's,
right.
You're being asked, and do you follow it? And for you, it's going to be very specific to you, and it's going to be perfect for you. It's going to be perfect for you and your heart. And Brenda wants to share. No,
no, go ahead.
No?
Okay. I got lots of things to share.
Yeah, and we just start opening up, and it is, it just starts opening up. So we start getting a lot of stuff. it really is learning to trust your heart in a way that is very vulnerable and in some ways very scary for you. I can see, and it would be for anybody. So there's no judgment, right? It's about just noticing and showing up, because we have to look at the things and we have to look at the resistance within us, right? In the fear within us to take the risk. You can't ignore it and be like, no, it's going to be fine. We're going to be fine. It's going to be fine. It's like you can't. We have to honor the parts of us and look at the part that's really freaking afraid and is afraid to die, basically.
Right. The vulnerability.
The vulnerability.
That too. I think there's throughout my life a few times that I don't know, it's kind of funny because I always say, look back when I was rose colored glasses, hippie, back then is when I was so free spirited, I got hurt. I got burned. These things happened. It put me into that mold, like you're saying, where I felt like, okay, I have to be responsible, I have to be this person, and all this. And I just really lost touch of who I was at my core. And when I say who I was, I mean the things that brought me happiness. And then when I was happier, I was a better person, I feel, a better mom, a better everything. And now there's really no excuse for me not to be doing those things, I think, because, kids are grown. Now It's time for me to get back to that. But back also, too, letting myself be more vulnerable in that way. And, you have that guard up.
Yeah, and I love your awareness. I love your insight into yourself. That's so powerful. And I see how what you've learned and remembered in those maybe conforming experiences or those being responsible that you really have gained a skill set that is going to help you move forward. Okay. So again, just really letting go, which again, you know how to do. And with love, I say it's time to just do that more, okay? You are being called to act. I can see and feel how you have so many magnificent ideas. They are wondrous. They are beautiful. And some of them you're like, yeah, I could see that happening. And you really allow it to expand or move. And sometimes I can see how you talk yourself out of them. Yeah, no, I'm not really going to do that one. Is that resonating?
Oh, yeah.
So in that way, really taking those blinders off, taking this confinement off, for you, you have such an awareness of something really unique and special. You kind of like understand these confines of this reality or the structure of this world more than most. And that's why I feel like I'm guided to say these things in the way that I am right now, because you get it. And so we need you as a culture, as a world. You are a leader in this. Like, it's time to start just simply talking about this. This is not going to be complicated. This is going to be, like Wendy said, following your heart. And literally, you're like, I just feel like talking about this right now. Please, please, please do. Please start talking. Please start just putting it out there. There's no need to fight with yourself or others. Just be honest and loving and vulnerable, just like you said, because you really do have something really important that you're bringing forward. Yes, whatever you just got. Yes, I felt you. What did you just think?
Wow. Well, am I allowed to say what I do for a living?
Yeah, please, yes.
Wonderful, thank you. Well, this is just everything is just boom, boom, hitting me as well. I'm just seeing all these colors and stuff right now. But so with me, the short story is the world that you're talking about, where you had to feel like you had to live for your company, do all these things. I did that for almost 29 years. But at the same time, I did follow other things that I was doing, and the way the world shifted, I was blessed and cursed at the same time, losing my job, but then also because I have also been a massage therapist for almost 30 years, I went back to that, and that's always been my passion. And I am now living a life, sometimes I have to pinch myself because I am able to do what I love for a living. And sometimes I connect with people when I do have my clients and things, and they open up, like you just said, following your heart. People look to me sometimes in the sense of, they not like, how do I put this, but almost like guiding in a way of some things. And I love that. Sometimes our sessions turn into a big, powerful connection. I don't know what else to say with that. And it just, I feel really, really good when after I'm done doing what I do for a living.
That's awesome.
And listen, I want to validate the shit out of that, okay? Because I can feel that from here. I'm like, yes, 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 yes. Because immediately you're being your authentic self. You're just expanding and growing. And like in that way, a takeaway I want for you right now in this is a permission slip. I'm going to give you this giant permission slip from the entire universe saying, please be a leader for us. Please show the way. We need you so much. You are doing so much more than you even realize. And I know you're doing a lot. And you're doing even more. You're touching so many more people and helping in so many more ways. But yeah, sorry. I got really excited on that one. I got really, really excited.
No, it's beautiful.
Wow, that means so much. Because that's really how I try to live my life that way, feel that way. But the thing I guess I struggle with is I don't know where this came from, but this this judgment that I start to feel, and I don't like to ever feel like you obviously it's hard, you're our own worst critics, right? Mm-hmm. But I judge myself in so many ways, and there's so many things I'll do, and I'm just like, it's hard. It's hard to let yourself go and to just accept those things. It's very, very hard.
No, and it makes sense. That's exactly where I was going to go. Next was just, you are meant to kind of lead and kind of start these things. And with that, you really have to, it's almost like know your worth, like you play small, in part of buying into the system of our culture, society is having a hierarchy, meaning people that have the knowledge and this almost like the staircase of, well, no, now you need to have this degree to be able to do this. And we need to do this to be able to do this. And just like I said, with the Noah thing or building an ark, right. It's like, it's all bets off, right? No, you literally are the one that you've been waiting for. You're meant to kind of change the system and kind of create things. And let me tell you, it's not an easy thing. There is a vulnerability in that because no one is telling you whether it's good or bad. You get to say. And because it's never been here before. So you're creating a brand new thing. And it is a very vulnerable thing for sure. But in this way, it's your power, your power chakra. And within our power chakra, in our solar plexus, is our identity, because we get to say, but it also is our judgments. And it's our stomach, our solar plexus is tied into our brain, right? It's our second brain. And in that way, it's really looking at those belief systems that limit your greatness, and a lot of that is social conditioning. And some of that criticism that is inside of your head is from your childhood, so it's really looking at that space and, in going there, because just like we've said over and over with other things, it's like as soon as you start down this path and you're like, yes, I want this, I want to live my life purpose. So you start stepping down that path and then you're bombarded with all this criticism. It's not a demonstration of resistance. It's just showing you what you need to look at, the parts of you that you have to address to be able to move forward. That you have a lot of belief systems around work, meaning work's supposed to feel hard, right? It's supposed to feel a certain way. Maybe not so much anymore, but you do have some belief systems that do limit you moving and building the ark. Like if you have a belief system in you that is like, well, I'm never going to pick up a hammer, and God's saying to you, hey, I need you to build this ark, you won't even hear it because you have a belief system that in you, right? You understand what I'm saying? So it's really looking at some of the belief systems and facing the emotional parts.
And I'm jumping in on this conversation, Dee, because Wendy's making a really good point. And I feel like for those of us that remember so much the way that you do, this becomes particularly challenging because you do have like 80% of you who's like on board with this, be vulnerable and be open. And then you have 20% saying, no, we're going to just protect ourselves and keep this wall up. Do you see? So we're kind of
Exactly.
bringing our light to this 20%, and that's okay. The reconciling with that 20% or whatever. In some cases, I can feel some of them are even smaller, some of them a little bit bigger, but you're going to just show up for that, and it's going to need different things. Sometimes I'm going to be honest, it feels like you have parts of you that you just need to stop talking. Show up for that, and it's going to need different things. Sometimes I'm going to be honest, it feels like you have parts of you that you just need to stop talking with that part of you. Because part of you wants to like worry, or part of you wants to just have judgment and to have conversations about all kinds of judgment. And I'm going to invite you to show up for that, love that part of yourself, and say, you know what, we're just not talking about that anymore, because we're getting better every day at everything. We are allowed to be good at what we do. We are good at what we do. So stop. Some of that's going to be stopping the conversation. It's just kind of it's too ingrained. It's too entrenched into your psyche. So some of the reconciling will be that. Some of it is trauma. It is past trauma. It is, my dear friend, I honor you and I thank you for being you. Some of it is that you are holding particular wounds and traumas that the world is holding. Some of them are like the feminine wounds. And again, I honor you for this. You are holding that. You are moving through that for all of us. And yourself, yes, and all of us too. So I honor you. And so you get to show up with so much love, those traumas of just not having as much of a voice, of not feeling like we're allowed to be our femininity. Right? You're going to reconcile with that. You're going to say, wow, that really makes sense. I love you so much. Let's just keep showing up. I know it's scary. You're not going to take the fear out of it. You're going to just reconcile it, or let that 80% become friends with that 20%.
Makes a lot of sense. Well, and I do think too, it's like when you're saying that 80-20, okay, so you get that perfect balance, right?
Yeah.
But there might be some days where my energy is like, woo, and I'm more, that 20% becomes 75, 80%, and then pushing that other, that 80% down. And then it might flip flop the next day where that 80% is now 90%, and it's just going, come on, you got to do this. And then, so I do understand that it's not, every day is not the same. I do try to break every day differently.
That's cool.
And just trusting that, right? Trusting and knowing whatever is arising for you on that day is exactly what you need, right?
Right, exactly. That's part of what you said about being vulnerable on that, and just allowing myself to say, hey, you know what, today I don't need to clean the house, and this is not going to happen. It might just be, a day where I just let myself be.
Yeah, I mean, I am hearing cultivating the joy, whatever brings you joy. It's going to be when you say, what are the next steps, or, your questions about moving forward. It's simple. It's not easy, but it's going to be like, hey, I just want to start this. It's like Brenda said, it feels like you do have a lot of ideas and ways that you can expand your business. It feels like you're meant to expand your business and your reach. And it is being seen a lot more. And yeah, it's just time to kind of roar a little bit like a lion, because you do kind of play small in that sense, and it's comfortable because you are making a difference in what you're doing right now, and it is profound. But you are meant to kind of, what they're saying to me right now is create a system for people in the future. So it's almost like you need to start creating whatever your ideas are going to help people in the future, because a lot of people are going to start waking up here, and we need people in place to be able to kind of help them. So in some ways, it's almost like we're doing how like in the world, in like the wars or whatever, we'd have these pop-up tents, like medic centers or whatever. It's like that's what you're doing, but for spirituality. It's like you're setting up a place, and they want to get you in place ready. And it's going to be, you got to be a little bit more bold about it, meaning you got to say who you are and what you stand for. And it is like what you're doing with the people that you're doing is happening, and just giving it a name and acknowledging it and just saying, hey, this is what I'm doing now. And you're figuring it out, because what you're figuring out are brand new things that have never been here before. And that's why you can't look to anybody else. You got to literally just trust and cultivate this inner language with spirit. If that makes sense.
Well, that makes a ton of sense. And the weird thing too, I when I say weird, I don't, but it's all of a sudden, like I'm surrounding, it's like people are gravitating towards me. I'm very blessed to be so busy with so many clients and doing what I do and what I love. But it's like like-minded people. All of a sudden, I'm finding these people. It's like crazy. There's like network of people all around me that I again, that 80-20, 80%, I feel their energy is just phenomenal. I feel so happy, and everything's like, we feel the same way. Like I said, like I was like-minded people. But you also get that 20% where you're like, okay, but it is work. I have to still work with them and stuff. But I feel like that will kind of pull you and pull me, I can say, in a different direction that I don't want to go. And that just creates that negativity that sets into me, and then boom, there goes a snowball.
Yeah, that's a childhood pattern. Like you're kind of you're programmed to people please, right? So
I still am.
Yeah, so in that way it's like creating a habit, an energetic habit of even you looking at what service means to you, or like it doesn't mean hand them over everything, but I can see this even overlaying into romantic relationships, even where you just hand everything over and then you're left with nothing. Because, and I don't mean nothing, I mean it's kind of exaggeratory, but that some of this messaging is about you receiving more, because in allowing yourself to receive more and making it about you and how you see it is the only thing that matters. So it's strengthening that and recognizing the patterns and behaviors that do trigger you into that people pleasing or handing over your identity kind of thing, if that makes sense.
Well, so my question with that is, you just put my life into a nutshell there. My past relationships have always been that way. I felt very vulnerable, very people pleasing, and very giving, because that's how I always was. And then left with nothing in a sense. And now I'm in a relationship where I have somebody who puts me first and who lets me be me and lets me do all of these things. And that a partnership, if you will. But yeah. I don't let myself have it. I feel like I get mean and I get more like I'm not deserving of it, or when's the shoe gonna fall, kind of thing. So how do you allow yourself to accept that? Okay, now it's my time for me.
That's kind of a big question. But yeah, she's gonna do it.
Yeah,
She's gonna do it.
I'm gonna jump in on it because I'm going to backtrack just a smidge, and I promise I'll come right back to this. All of these clients and these experiences are arising, and I know you know that, but I want to name it for this sacred space. They are arising to give you the opportunity to heal or love yourself. So if you have a client who comes to you and says, I just can't receive the love that I wish to receive, hold on a minute, stop thinking and just feel with me for a minute. And what I would hope you would do is I hope you would say to that client or that person that you love and support, you say, that's okay, that makes sense why you won't let me love you. I'm going to sit here with you and we're going to figure this out. And I don't really mean figure it out like it's a problem. I mean, we're going to keep trying. Because that part of you that wants to reject that love and support needs you, not your partner, not your clients, not validation, needs you. And this is the work. This is the, really pulling down all these protectors that you have. Part of what I feel when I connect with you in this space, Dee, is that you're partly reconciling with yourself going, well, why can't you just be fine? Aren't we just fine? And this part of you is like, no, really, I'm just still so hurt. And you're kind of going, listen, we're not 3 or 4 or 6 or 8 or 12 anymore. What's the problem? Can you just be okay? And this part of you saying, listen, I'm just not okay. I don't know how to receive. I don't think I deserve it. I don't understand why people were mean to me. Please, I hurt so much. Will you help me? And you're kind of rejecting this part of yourself, saying, I don't know what to do with you. Can you just be okay? And this part of you is saying, no. So can you sit
Well,
there?
you can only push it down for so long, I suppose, right?
Yeah. And for all of us, and you know, you're doing great. You're doing such a great job. And I love that you can notice with this relationship that like you have parts of you that are not letting yourself go, that are protecting you. So allowing yourself to just keep saying, no, I'm not willing to be okay because I need you. Can you just sit here and love me? And you're like, you know what? I have no fucking idea how to love you. I don't think I'm allowed to say that on YouTube, but I have no idea how to love you, but I'm going to try. I'm going to try, and I'm going to sit here and I'm going to love you until you can feel it. There you go. You just shifted.
And then,
Nice.
well, it's the things that you're saying to me are the things I say to my children. That's the kind of mom that I am with them, in a sense, you know. But I don't
Yes.
practice what I preach. I'm that one who I'm so hard on myself with these things that I and the thing what you're saying about everything's fine, that is how I always am with it. I'm like, suck it up, buttercup. Just get through it. Everything's fine. I don't allow myself to realize I've had some trauma. I've had some things, and
Thank you.
I just don't want to. I don't want to feel that though, because that's the. I don't know. It's never. I'm that person, smile and get through it kind of person, which isn't always the best way to be, right?
It's not the most loving thing to be for a part of you that needs your love, right? And that's all I would invite you to look at is that that part of you, that part of you's desperate is honestly what it feels like. That part of you just really what it feels like. That part of you just really wants you to sit down and cry and kind of just feel like shit. Like it just feels like in this part of you just like, please, can we just sit here? Can we just sit here? And you're like, no, we're gonna be fine now. We're gonna go do some stuff.
Yeah, I never do that. I'm always throwing myself into something, you know, exactly.
Well, and I just want to point out because that's exactly how you had to survive the initial trauma,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
No one paid attention to it. You had to just move through it, and in their behavior, you know, they taught you that's what you're supposed to do. So you're just reiterating that you're not doing anything wrong. It's just like that's what you were taught. And so now it's just like it's learning a different way. And in a way to heal it is to allow for it, allowing yourself to have those experiences. And it's just going to be a few minutes of, you know, of just sitting in that space of allowing yourself to have the sorrow or the sadness or the anger and all of that in between, just for a moment.
Sure.
And then it'll be gone. But that's how you love it. You love it by allowing.
Allowing it and accepting it, you know,
Because
letting it back into my life.
exactly, it needs to be seen and heard and validated and loved. That's how you love it. Those are Brenda's words.
That could possibly be why I cut the things that brought me that kind of peace that you're speaking of. Like I cut out meditating, I cut out yoga, I cut out these things where I would just be and just relax and shut your mind off. I cut all that out of my life and kept myself so busy with so many, just, you know, noise.
Yeah.
You know, just put myself into things. And I cut all that out because I didn't want to sit back and reflect on things. Like move forward, move forward.
Yeah.
And it makes sense. I mean, it's, you know, some of these feelings are big, you know, these are big feelings, and it feels overwhelming, you know, and knowing that it's okay. It is okay that they're overwhelming. It is okay. It doesn't make it easy. I totally get that. It's just it is the most loving thing to do is to allow.
And in that, Dee, I can see and feel how there are parts of you that don't have much of a voice, meaning that you're not sure how you feel and what you think about things. So I am going to invite you, because you are here, you did show up for this, to spend a little bit more time being selfish, to spend some more time with yourself, because you have a very important life purpose. I know I keep saying that. You do, though. And part of that awakening is going to be spending time with yourself and acknowledging how you feel and what you think about everything, and diving deep into that, not skimming over, diving more deeper into these nuances of all of your being. And again, naming, and I know you know this, but I just want to name it here, that both can be true. You can like something and not like something. And it seems like whatever part is like bigger within you, it just kind of bulldozes over other parts of you. So just showing up authentically for all of the nuances. You can have 12 different parts of you in one setting and they can all contradict. And there's no need for any of them to fight. They're allowed to just show up and be friends with each other, all of these parts of you. And you will figure out what is authentic, what aligns with your true self. You're going to be you are already so good at this. So just keep doing what you're doing. I really, really appreciate you being here. I love your openness. Like you got this. You are doing amazing, amazing works. And yes, you are being pushed and guided to step up into you. Step up and leap. It's happening.
And just to kind of bring everything back full circle too, we started this conversation with you wanting to connect more and listen to the messages from spirit. And our messages from spirit and our connection with self is in the heart space, and in our heart space is some of this wounding. So it's like the more you just show up for this, the stronger that connection is going to be. And it really is like the potential of growth here is awesome. So I'm really excited for you, and you deserve that kind of love. So I hope that you give that to yourself.
There was a lot of information in this, okay? So please listen to it later again. Obviously, we're going to post it. We're going to post the audio and the video because we threw a ton of stuff at you. You were so ready. It was like, so re-listen to it. At different times, certain things are going to stick out for you because they planted some seeds in the energy. So again, I know you know this, but we do so much more than just give you words, right? We are energy beings who can transmute and heal together by spending this time together and having this amazing conversation. There's so much more going on.
Yeah, and I really appreciate you being here just to help other people, how to claim their life purpose and how we show up and do this work. So I honor you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. I really do. Thank you for the awakening and the powerful words.
You're welcome. We hope that you'll stay connected with us, and we can't wait to see what you do.
I can't wait to hear what's next for you. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you guys both so much. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Take care, Dee. Bye.
So fun.
So for those of you that are just jumped on, we just got done with a call. And if you weren't able to see the whole thing, it was kind of really awesome about, how do you follow your life purpose? So how do you know what to do next? How do you, that you have something to do, but you don't know what to do, and how do you activate and cultivate that connection within, and strengthen it. Yeah, I like that word too. So,
so thank you. And like I said, if you're interested, please email us. Let us know.
If you want to be on our podcast. If you're not on the list already, we would love to have you. So thanks for hanging out and being a part of it with us.
Until next time.
Bye.